Hello and welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week edition of the program, we're focusing on activities that happened in the year 2022, and we'll also take other news stories. We will be right back. In 2022, a lot of activities shaped the labour sector. In February 2022, students, parents and other citizens woke up to the announcement by members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) regarding commencement of an industrial action.
Forfeit payment of ASU global salary and emolument with integrated payroll and personnel management information system IPs, and non-adoption of the University Transparency Academic Solution have continued to shortchange our members. NEC therefore resolved to embark on a 4-week rollover total and comprehensive strike beginning from Monday 14 February 2022, which is today.
The Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities also embarked on an industrial action, protesting against the payment platform by the government IPs.
When there is the will, there must always be a way. I say on my honor that those states are just acting irresponsibly. If they put their priority right, they pay workers' salaries. Are these not the same governors that are flying private jets? Are these not the same governors that today they are holding meeting in London? Some of them are in Paris, this and that. Where are they getting the money with which they are using to fly? I have been in this country for years. I have seen when Jakonde was governor of Lagos, never traveled outside the country. Never, for once.
During the year, Nigeria experienced high inflation rates multiple times. The Director General of Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, spoke about expectations of organized private sector in the year.
The value of the naira to increase. If you redesign, will it stop the issue of insecurity? If you redesign, will it fundamentally reduce the issue of inflation? So it's less of whether we redesign or not. I think organized businesses are more concerned with the real issue of business sustainability and business competitiveness.
In June 2022, the International Labour Organization (ILO) held its 110th International Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, with a theme centered on least developed countries, crisis, structural transformation, and the future of work in view of implications of current global challenges.
That our circumstances constitute a sharp reminder of the foundational truth upon which the ILO was constructed and which have been borne out time and again over the last century and is again today. That lasting peace depends on social justice and that the achievement of social justice depends upon peace. So those who resort to war deny social justice, and those who obstruct social justice endanger peace.
The National Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG) rewarded one of its members, Ejiro Otarigo, the brave tanker driver. Otarigo was said to have jumped into the tanker when he noticed it caught fire while offloading diesel at the petrol station and drove it far away from the center of town.
I want to say I'm particularly very proud of that young man who, out of courage and bravery, not minding what could happen to him at that particular point, was able to move that burning tanker to a safer place. But again, I also attribute that to the trainings that these drivers have undergone this period. In every profession, there are obviously danger side of it. And one thing we've always done as a union is to continue to train the driver because they carry very volatile product. The union has continued to indulge in training and retraining to ensure that in going about the activities, these are peculiar areas that they must also look into.
Dock workers from 4 African countries resolved to form a common front in pursuing global standard in signing of collective bargaining agreements (CBA) with multinational terminal operators. The proposal is starting with APM terminals.
We need the support of IATF so that we can have what we call global content that involve all these multinational companies, where the CBA is supposed to be a single CBA. I think that is the stand of when we have a single CBA. I think it will stop all this mess that these multinational companies are doing to African countries.
In August 2022, the National Union of Electricity Employees directed workers in the power sector to down tools and commence an indefinite strike over pending labor issues with the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
We don't pray for strike. Strike is difficult to manage. If you study strike management, it's difficult, it's expensive, both human and material resources. So you don't wish to embark on strike, and that's why it's not frequent. But when it becomes the last resort, it takes place. So we have been praying that we should face other things and not those issues raised, because those issues are threat. They are threat issues. If not for the laxity or of most people in government, that strike wouldn't have been there, because there was an agreement in 2013 on the issue of payment. There was an agreement again to reinforce it after another strike in 2019. And before the Speaker of the House of Rep, who brokered that meeting, I said they will not implement. He said they will implement. We argued.
In October 2022, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu announced an upward review of salary of workers in the state.
As a country, there is high level of inflation. I know that as a country, there is high cost of living. I instructed at a cabinet meeting, the head of service office and the Minister of Staff, Training and Pension to start work on how we're going to increase the entire salary of the public service.
Apart from the salary increment, the governor also disclosed that the first phase of the distribution of official cars will commence.
I'm aware that you still want a few more buses to create new routes. Abi? Okay, I'll work it out with the head of service. Before the end of this month, we'll see the number that we need to bring in. We'll start with a brand new 100 vehicles for our directors before the end of this month. So we'll start doing it in phases like that.
The year 2022 wrapped up with a conference by the International Trade Union Confederation ITUC for its 5th World Congress, which boasts of bringing together more than 300 national trade unions every 4-year cycle to set the global agenda for trade unions.
Solidarity! Solidarity! Aluta! Victoria! The contour of colonialism and provide social protection and economic justice and development for all. I cannot end this address without making a special appeal for our mother continent, Africa, to actualize the Sustainable Development Goals. At the current pace, Africa is likely to meet only 9 out of the 169 SDG goals. The continent is only on track for 13 indicators out of the 244. Nearly 40% of all Africans are still living in extreme poverty, and sub-Saharan Africa now accounts for 2/3 of all global extreme poverty. We need a greater inclusion of unions in developmental process through stronger social dialogue practices and institutions, ensuring workers can contribute to shape policies to fight poverty and inequality.
Workers are very expectant on who will lead the country in 2023, as the Labour Centres held different town hall meetings with presidential candidates. The Labour Centres were able to revive the Labour Party and take it to an enviable height in the year under review.